You noted you're going over the wire, through the wire, and wearing your armor. Isn't it true that not everyone wears the same amount of armor, and that in some cases, if you wear every piece that they manufacture, you won't be able to move sufficiently fast to accomplish the mission?
Yes, sir. I think that's absolutely true. I couldn't say just because I'm going into a potential armed engagements, in Fallujah, that somebody who's a police officer here in D.C. should be walking around with the same amount of body armor. There's still a potential for threat engagement there, but the operating environments are different, and the requirements need to be tailored to what specifically is going to be useful both for the operating conditions and the risk.
I thank the gentleman. The gentlelady from California is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I want to thank the ranking member. This has been a really interesting discussion, but for me, it remains abstract if we're also not talking about the available human capital and the talent investment that is needed. I have a young person getting ready to go to college. I've been talking to college students. I've actually been talking to a lot of engineers in this space who are worried about their prospects for employment and also their ability to stay here and to contribute to building our edge in AI. Mr. Chair, I would like to submit for the record a January 14, 2025 White House AI Talent Report.
Without objection, so ordered.
It warns that international researchers may increasingly choose to work in countries like Canada or the UK due to visa uncertainty, and we know that nearly 50% of non-citizen AI PhDs face immigration challenges, and many are unsure if they will even remain here. So, Mrs. Toner, if we continue to make it harder for top talent to stay, what are the strategic risks to U.S. innovation and our ability to protect those innovations through trade secrets?
The biggest thing I would say is that talent is a huge asymmetric advantage for the United States. We're in systemic competition with China, and in different elements, we have different levels of advantage. The ability to attract the world's best and brightest is one of our very biggest and most asymmetric advantages over China. They are graduating more and more PhD students, master's students, bachelor students. They are vastly outstripping our ability to train domestic talent because their population is larger. So if we're just using domestic talent, even if we should obviously be improving our K-12 education system, our higher education system, but we can do that all we want. If we only use domestic talent, we cannot match them. So, but we're very fortunate, the number of people, the number of really brilliant researchers and engineers who want to come to the United States, if we will only let them. So I would say, and we look at the way that affects the US AI ecosystem, 2/3 of the top AI startups had an immigrant founder. More than half of the AI talent at the PhD level in the United States is foreign-born. This is a big part of our ecosystem. We should treasure it, we should value it, we should let those people come and let them stay.
Thank you so much. Unrelated, I was having discussions with folks in my district about breast cancer research and finding cures, and the folks that are actually at the center are immigrants. And I just kept thinking to myself, okay, and now we're demonizing this group of people that's actually working to try to figure out ways to save lives. Even Dr. Jensen just said that good researchers come from everywhere. They may come from everywhere. We want them to come here, and by golly, we want them to stay here because we want to have the edge. We cannot protect our edge in AI and cybersecurity actually without investing in the people in the institutions that are building the edge. And I'm talking about colleges and universities that are feeling like they are under attack. The faculty, the curriculum, the prospective students, and the students that are there right now. Given that between 40 and 60% of AI-related master's degrees and nearly 60% of AI PhDs have gone to non-US citizens in recent years, I'm going to say to you, Professor Villasenor, what are the long-term risks to U.S. innovation if we keep pushing out the very talent that is being used to build this field?
I think the risks are enormous. I think we are leaders in AI in large part because of our human capital. And as has been said by multiple people here, our human capital is people who are at least half and probably a lot more from overseas. And we need to make sure to create a climate where they feel that they can stay here and start their businesses here because the businesses they start are going to be the ones that employ 100, 1,000, 10,000 people in the future. And they're going to start those businesses somewhere, and we want it to be here.
Thank you for that. As I mentioned, I know we are talking about cybersecurity and cyber threats. I'm also thinking about all of the other ways where AI can play a positive and constructive part in how we are coming up with solutions, how we are protecting our people, how we are enhancing our national security. And what I think should be most important is what folks are bringing to the table rather than what they look like or where they were born. Because I don't think a solution cares too much about the person who came up with it. We're interested in how we can build our competitive edge, how we can protect the folks in our country, how we can create more jobs, and how we can create an ecosystem that is both safe and sustainable, right? Economically, politically, from a national security standpoint. And I'm just saying this because I'm talking to all of the young people who are graduating, who want to play a role in how we are finding solutions for all of these issues, and they are scared. And we don't want folks to be scared. We want folks to feel hopeful and engaged and like they're able to work with their country on addressing some of these solutions. And with that, Mr. Chair, I yield back.
I thank the